Hi, my name is Jane Doyle. This presentation will address the various research into the acquisition of writing skills amongst children. Thought will be given to what influences writing, what skills and strategies children develop, the writing process, and the role of the teacher in developing these skills. The presentation will move on to the aspect of assessment and how it can be used to plan for future instruction. Lastly, a literacy-rich classroom will be looked at and how this environment can help children develop the necessary skills and strategies to become fluent writers. Firstly, let us look at the importance of reading in the development of writing skills. Children often come to school with some experience of literacy through being read to by their parents and recognizing words and symbols in their everyday environment. As Bear notes, a child's first experience of the written word is their own name, hence they will already have some concept of letters. The United Kingdom Literacy Association, UKLA, states that research has shown that exposure to reading and being read to provides children with models for writing and develops an understanding of language structure and style. This is supported by Shigori, who points out that listening to stories has proven to be beneficial in developing literacy skills, and that before children are able to read themselves, they are gaining knowledge of the written language. Reading activities such as shared reading, which is demonstrated in the eLab video, Listening, Reading and Writing, incorporates the importance of talk, as children use language to problem solve, present ideas, and make connections and censor the text. Shigori suggests by making the activity meaningful, children are able to structure stories into a beginning, middle, and end, and apply this sequential knowledge to their own compositions. An added benefit of shared reading is exposure to high-frequency words, which builds on letter and sound knowledge. One suggested strategy to develop writing skills is through the use of the language experience approach. As mentioned by Tompkins, Campbell, and Green, children dictate to the teacher, who then writes the words as the child speaks. Hence, they are relating the spoken word to the written word. As children progress through the emergent stage, they are encouraged to start writing for themselves, which may be hard to decipher, but teachers accommodate the children's developmental stage. Inventive spelling, noted by Tompkins et al. And Bear, gives the teacher an insight into the child's current word knowledge, therefore providing an indication for future differentiated instruction and appropriate scaffolding. At this stage, teaching of phonemic awareness and phonics plays a crucial role as they provide the child with the necessary skills and strategies when spelling and decoding unfamiliar words. As children enter the beginning stage of development, teachers will utilize the cueing systems of phonological, syntactic, semantic, pragmatic, and paralinguistic to develop children's understanding of the English language. At this stage, children further develop their knowledge. They become more adept at applying writing strategies and producing their own compositions, and therefore are able to construct meaningful sentences as they begin to understand the use of punctuation and grammar. Once these skills have been mastered, students enter the fluent stage of development and begin to apply the writing process to compositions, as suggested by Tompkins et al., which consists of the following 5 stages. First is the pre-writing stage. This is where the students prepare by choosing a topic, gather ideas, and organize and plan the purpose of their writing. The drafting stage is where students create a rough draft and put their ideas onto paper, with not much concern for correctness at this stage. The revising stage is where the students read through the rough draft and discuss in writing groups and in conference with the teacher how it can be modified. Fourthly is the editing stage, and this the rough draft is reread and suggested adjustments are made. In addition, the structure, sentence patterns, and vocabulary, spelling, punctuation, and grammar are looked at for improvements. And fifthly is producing the final copy for the audience. Tompkins et al. Suggest the qualities of good writing to be taught through a series of mini-lessons. Such qualities include considering the audience, the structure and purpose of the text, the ideas and information the student wants to convey, the features and grammar specific to the type of text, the cohesion of writing, and the use of paragraphs. To develop children into critical literacy users, both Tompkins et al. And Bull and Anstey highlight the following 4 roles that children engage in becoming competent readers and writers. The first role is being the code breaker, where children make sense of and recognize linguistic, visual, and auditory modes to make meaning of the text. The second role is that of text participant, where connections are made from prior social, cultural, and reading experiences to the text. The third role is text user, where the purpose of the text is identified and may be read in a different way. The fourth role is text analyst, where the text is looked at critically and the reader evaluates and makes decisions on those evaluations. Tompkins et al. Go on to state these roles from the form the basis for planning a balanced instruction to ensure students are developing the appropriate skills. Tompkins et al. Highlight the implementation of a balanced approach, incorporating behaviorism, constructivism, and sociolinguistic theories, where instruction is a combination of teacher-led and student-led strategies. This method has proven to be most effective in teaching and writing skills, as teachers still need to incorporate the drill and practice procedures while allowing children to be actively involved in their learning. Looking at the research, the reading and writing processes are interrelated, and that both carry a lot of similarities. Therefore, the importance of reading in the early years sets the foundation for writing development. It can be reasoned that to develop fluent writers, it is essential to expose students to reading, phonics awareness, and spelling from an early age. As Tompkins et al. Recommend, providing ample opportunity to practice will prove beneficial to the student. Now we will look at the various methods of assessment and how the relevance of assessment can aid in planning further instruction. Tompkins et al. And Marsh both note the difference between assessment and evaluation, in that assessment is continuous throughout the school year and evaluation usually occurs at the end of the year, both of which can be informal and formal. Students are provided with feedback on how they improve their writing skills. However, as UKLA and Tompkins et al. Point out, it must be positive and supportive, otherwise it will diminish confidence and self-esteem. Marsh goes on to explain assessment can take the forms of planned observations, where teachers take anecdotal notes, which Tompkins et al. Mention allow the teachers to highlight specific areas, such as questions the children may ask and any strategies and skills they have implemented. Tompkins et al. Suggest the use of conferences between the teacher and the child or children, as conferences can be on an individual basis or small groups. These allow the teacher to monitor progress with the outlook of setting achievable goals and developing skills and knowledge. In addition, Tompkins et al. Recommend the use of checklists and rubrics, even suggesting that children use these themselves to develop their own metacognitive skills and a sense of autonomy over their own learning. Further to this, Tompkins et al. And Marsh suggest children keeping work sample portfolios to document their work and monitor their own development and progress. In addition to students storing their own work, Tompkins et al. Suggest that the teacher keeps their own personal files of notes, checklists, and test results of individual children. As students become more fluent in their writing, they are encouraged to edit their own compositions as they write more frequently in class. Tompkins et al. Recommends targeted training and the use of forms of assessment of student tasks to assess the quality of writing and student application of writing skills and strategies. With regards to assessment, children are monitored on an individual basis, as each child is different, working in their own zone of proximal development. Regular assessment and monitoring is fundamental, as the teacher is able to modify and develop an effective and differentiated instruction program, so the individual student is able to achieve the desired outcomes. As Tompkins et al. Points out, the teacher's responsibility is for the learning and management of all students, hence an obligation to meet the expectations of the child, parents, school, communities, and other stakeholders. Now we turn our attention to how this research can be applied to the classroom and how the teacher can effectively teach writing skills. Tompkins et al. Recommend that teachers create a positive learning environment by establishing rules and procedures, building a sense of routine, making the classroom a safe place where children are comfortable with the teacher and their peers. In addition, the classroom must be inclusive and that children respect each other, regardless of their backgrounds and diverse abilities. As children look up to teachers as role models, UKLA and Dorfman and Capelli recommend the teacher models their own writing and risk-taking skills, as demonstrated in the eLab video, The Writing Process in the Early Years, Part 1. This strategy engages the students as they are actively involved in the writing process, forming part of the supportive classroom environment. And this is enforced by Les Vygotsky's theory of learning, as students are learning from a more knowledgeable person. Shigori also points out that it is important that teachers support students by providing opportunities to talk, read, and listen to stories, and are encouraged to write themselves. We discussed earlier how assessment helps the teacher identify what children understand and plan for future instruction. By monitoring progress and keeping records, teachers are able to scaffold children's learning and provide the necessary guidance for children to achieve. To develop writing skills, the UKLA and Tompkins et al. Recommend the use of mini-lessons, with Bear recommending regular writing practice, allowing for 10 to 15 minutes per day to enhance understanding and fluency. How the classroom looks can also aid children's developing writing skills. Teachers can make use of word walls using high-frequency words, word families, adjectives, nouns, and verbs. Children are able to refer to them as they write in order to construct their own sentences. In addition, teachers can further engage students through the use of literacy senses, as suggested by Tompkins et al. These can take the form of games, word sorts, and other activities, allowing children to build on writing strategies. Also, teachers can create a literacy-rich environment by allowing children access to various books, computers, and ICT programs that enhance their writing skills. So in conclusion, it is hoped that children come to school with some prior knowledge, but there is a large amount of responsibility on the teacher to develop effective instruction for students to succeed. Teachers need to be accountable. They need to understand and support their students' individual needs and use assessment to plan instruction. In addition, teachers need to be organised in providing a balanced approach to effectively deliver a well-structured literacy programme which will develop students into fluent writers. Thank you for listening.